So I think at one point before training camp started, we said, who's going to be the darling of training camp? And I said, hey, how about that fullback with the mullets? He seems cool. And he retired after one day.
I know, one day.
And who'd have thought that Kendrick Green, of all people, at fullback?
I know.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. He's a beast. He's a big dude, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Well, what's interesting, though, and again, nobody knows about the depth chart this time of year, but it's like, what if he, ends up, like, right now he's listed as third center or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, and Connor Hayward is listed as the only running back on a depth chart at all. You know what I mean? So Kendrick Green isn't even like, fullback 2 or anything.
Right.
So wouldn't it be, interesting is, if something were to, it's so fluid. If Kendrick Green did end up starting as like the fullback or something, and he just went bananas, not that we use them enough, but it's just interesting. It's fun to see.
They could, though. I mean, it's an option. The depth chart right now is so meaningless and silly.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
A box he checks to turn into the media so that they, fans can overanalyze it and obsess. But, it's meaningless. But I'm happy for Green. I really am. I'm impressed that he has like stuck with it. Do you know what I mean? And not gotten in his head, gotten like overly frustrated, gotten like bitter or angry, like some people
tired, like
he wants to play. He wants to play. And it just shows like whatever he has to do, he'll do it. And so he's kicking ass out there at fullback. I realize it's just camp and it's early and all of those things, but I'm happy for him.
Hey, let's go. Hey, look what the Ravens are doing with that Ricard.
Yeah.
Same thing. A 300-pound dude that can move. Let's do it. It's like,
and I guess
I heard today that Herbig was taking some snaps at center. So that makes you wonder, are they looking at some, you know what I mean? I don't want to like go over analyzing.
Right.
Yeah.
You know like maybe they will move Green and then end up
back up.
Right. Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Everybody, everybody, just throw everybody out there. Because now everybody looks good. Everybody, you hear just so many good things about everybody. It's like, guys, it's a 90-man roster. Not everybody's making it. Some of these people are going to get cut. So
I know, which is sad.
Yeah, you're right. Because there have been like lots of darlings already. You know what I mean? Like there's been like 5 or 6. Like everybody's doing awesome. You know what I mean? So it's like, every year it's the same way, right? Pretty much.
Yeah.
And it's like once the regular season hits, it's like then when we really find out, you know what I'm saying, who the darlings are. You know what I mean? Who's not the darlings.
Regular season hits, and we're going to say, remember when Kendrick Green was taking snaps at fullback? What happened with that? It's like, we'll be saying things like, how the hell is Matt Canada still employed? Or, things like that.
Because we never say that. Right. We never say that. We never already say that.
But
he's going to kick ass this year.
Yes.
Hopefully.
Yes. It's kind of like, it's amazing how good or bad of a coach is depending on how good or bad the players are. You could have awesome players and be a lousy coach and still do well. It's like, so everything looks good now, but we're reaching our next milestone, the preseason games. Let's go. Friday night.
It's getting closer. It's getting
very exciting. Very exciting.
The Hall of Fame game got 6 million viewers, which is like more than almost every other sport except for basketball and
wow.
And that's it. That's basically it. I mean, and that was the first preseason game.
Yeah.
It's
people are ready.
Yeah. Yeah, Friday Night Lights got 15,000 people.
Oh yeah,
right. Yeah. There were 50,000 people. Right, there were 50,000 people at the Eagles practice, like the Steelers version. You know what I mean? 50,000. Like if you looked at they panned the stadium and like every seat was full, and it's like what?
That's crazy.
Like what is this? It is. I mean, they're the Eagles.
It feels like to me like
but it's like.
We're in a snow globe here. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like I look at like only like Pittsburgh stuff and stuff related to the Steelers. But when you pan out and you give that wider view, you realize that fans everywhere are feeling that way. It's like not just us with our excitement over like our new and improved offense and how Kenny's going to do year 2 and all these great draft picks. You know, everybody seems to feel that way, which it seems more than usual.
Right. Yeah. And even when you wrote about the Vikings, you probably realized too, it was like how much different, you know what I mean? How every fan base is just, they're just dying.
Yeah. So geeked. Yeah. Very true.
We're just so excited. Ever since the end of last year, all we've been doing is we can't wait till September. And all we've been thinking about is through free agency, the draft, OTAs, training camp, preseason, all we hear is like the hype. It's hype season.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, everybody looks good now. We'll see how it goes. What are we actually looking forward to in this preseason game? I just want to see the kids. I want to see the rookies do something.
Yeah.
What are they actually going to do?
I hope Calvin Austin does something and plays a little bit, not enough to like just even a even a, you know what I mean? Like a couple of somethings, you know what I mean? Then take him the hell out of there. You know what I mean? Like,
don't chance him. Yeah. Don't chance him.
Yeah, exactly. But I want to see him. We've been wanting to see him on the field ever since before he got injured. So it's like, it's almost like the buildup for that's just been nuts.
Yeah,
you know?
I agree. I think we've got all these draft picks.
Austin.
Right, none at all. We've got all these draft picks this year that I think everybody's so eager to see. Do you know what I mean? We're clearly not going to see all the vets go in, and so it'll be really nice to see those guys get some, you know, chance to go out in the field and show what they can do. Because I think sometimes with preseason, you find like the people that look like they were killing it in camp get out in the field in a game, do you know what I mean? And struggle, or the people that didn't look like they were killing it get out there in a game and kill it. You know what I mean? So sometimes people react to the pressure of getting out in the field, like against a real competitor, differently. So I always think it's interesting to see. It's like that first peek behind the curtain at how these new guys are really going to fare in like a real game situation.
Yep.
Some players are only gamers. Some players aren't that good at practice. So
that's why we see that. That's why
this will be their time to shine. So yeah. I would imagine if the starters play at all, it would just be for a series for this game.
Yeah.
Right.
And then the second game is the real dress rehearsal. But
then the third game is only bubble players, people that are going to be out packing groceries next week or
right,
the week after,
right.
Whatever.
Basically the greatest reality show ever. Just like let's see what happens to these people. I wonder. I mean, technically, is Dan Moore the starter and Broderick Jones the backup right now? Is he the second team? Kind of seems like it.
He's listed on the depth chart that way, and I mean that's kind
of
like
we said. Indicated. The depth chart you said earlier is such BS right now.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It could just all be a smoke screen right now. You know what I mean? Like it could just be like, hey, you're gonna think this guy's doing this and he's not. You know what I mean? Like Tomlin's all like, you know.
Right. Yeah. And I believe that. I fully believe that. You know what I mean? That this is, he doesn't, you know, this is just what he has to put out to the world, and like what's really be happening behind the scenes is something totally different. And, you know, I do believe that, I've said this before, that I really think that for Tomlin, it's whoever the best person for the team is at that time. And so if that's, you know, Dan Moore, it might be Dan Moore for 3 games and then he'll get benched, you know, or something like Trubisky did last year. Like, you know, who knows? I mean, I don't think that it's Moore's job to keep for the season. I don't think he should get complacent.
No, it's not. It's not set in stone. This isn't the 10 Commandments or anything.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's okay. If Broderick Jones takes a few weeks or like a few games, that's fine. It happens.
Right.
Like
it's
not every
year.
Exactly. Not every rookie is going to be ready-made instantly. So
I'd much rather give him some time than Kendrick Green him and throw him in and he's not comfortable. And then his like confidence takes a hit. Do you know what I mean? And people fans are coming down on him hard. Yeah, I'd rather give him the time that he needs. If they feel like he's not ready, then we have to trust that process. Do you know what I mean? Just because he's a first round draft pick doesn't mean he has to start week 1.
Yeah. So we
let's not Kendrick Green him. I agree. That's a great way to put it. Kendrick Green him. Let's not Kendrick Green him, because that's exactly what happened. Like, dude.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh my God.
He never played. What? He never played at the position before.
I think he took like snap at center like 4 games or something in college.
Right when he was in Pee Wee.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
something
when he was
high school or something.
league.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
right.
exactly. So it's like, come on.
Green
man.
is a verb. That's terrible.
Kendrick Green. Yeah, exactly. You got Kendrick Green. Oh,
Kendrick
no.
Green.
Exactly.
Oh, may you never become a meme or a verb.
Right.
It'll be
That's
like,
terrible.
like, boy, you really Allison that one up. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly.
That has
Like,
to do with
we really
audio
enjoyed back in
Yeah, really.
that one.
Allison's every single podcast.
Oh yeah,
Spending 10
exactly.
minutes for that is a verb. That's gonna go
Yes,
Urban
it
Dictionary.
is, yeah. If you're ever having
Allison,
problems with
that
your
one.
audio on a podcast, or whether it's in or out, you got Allison. You're Allisoning it. Allisoning it.
Allison's
Totally.
catchphrase is, "Can you hear me?"
Yes. Yeah. I'm bringing
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Can you hear me now? You know what I mean?
So we'll see a lot of Mitch Trubisky and I guess Mason Rudolph. Has Mason Rudolph showed up? I barely hear from him. I hear a lot of that Tanner Morgan.
Yeah, a lot of Morgan, who should get some time to play, I would think, which is good. I've heard he's been playing a lot at camp and
yeah.
Baker Mayfield is apparently supposed to start for the Bucs, so that'll be interesting. I was kind of surprised he's starting. I wouldn't be doing that.
Here's all I want from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. All I want is I don't know what game they're playing the Creamsicles, whatever game that is this season. I want them to win 100-0. And I want them to say, "Oh my God, we won because of these awesome jerseys. We need to play these all. We need to wear these all the time." The Creamsicles are the greatest jersey ever created.
That isn't a Steelers jersey, of course.
Right? Well, yeah. Besides,
let's slow our roll
like that.
Right. Yeah. Let's not go overboard here. Don't be hasty.
Yeah.
You know what they need to bring, and I know this is going to happen at some point. Did you ever see those all white Steeler jerseys?
Yeah.
From like the 70s and stuff.
Yeah.
Those are slick. Let's go all whites, man. That was a nice pattern.
I did something not too long ago on the Batman jerseys.
Oh,
from the 70s, those Batman jerseys. I did a piece, an article on those not too long ago. Had like the weird triangle.
Is that the one with like the city crest or something? The city, right?
No, it's like it looks like a triangle coming across it. So it almost looks like they have a cape on, like the black jersey with like a gold triangle across it. Right. I don't know. To me, they look super old fashioned. I don't know how else to describe them. Like there's nothing about them that looks remotely modern.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that is dumb.
Yeah.
Isn't it weird?
Yeah.
It's kind of a weird jersey.
Yeah.
But those came up not too long ago.
Yeah, look at that. Ew.
Yeah.
Wait, I can't. Okay.
Yeah.
One up to 15%.
Yeah, you're right. It's all black and then it has the
like a triangle.
We've had some ugly jerseys in the past, that's for sure.
But there are some of those like alternate like designs and stuff. Some of them are actually kind of neat.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Creamsicles and the Eagles need to go to those Kelly Greens, those old school Eagles.
All the time,
all the time. Those are gorgeous. I love those.
Yep.
And I guess
I like when every team decided to go like black, like they decided to go like black and then make everything dark. So it was like dark green and like dark red, and do you know what I mean? Like everything got so dark.
Did you see the Colts alternate thing? It's all black with the blue Colt thing. Like that is dumb.
Right?
Dude,
yeah, exactly. Or like the Falcons a couple years ago.
Black wasn't their color.
Yeah, it's not. It's not. It's just weird. Yeah.
They came out with the Falcons came out with weird uniforms that changed, and then they ended up changing back because it sucked. Like their logo looked like something out of the AAF or something, and it just looked awful. You know what I mean? Like this isn't.
I don't like that.
You know.
Yeah. But I mean, I guess they changed the rule so that you could have different color helmets during the regular season. So hey,
those all yellow ones. Those are pretty sharp.
Let's go yellow. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
I like it. Yeah. Yeah. Or I want to see what Darnell Washington's going to do, because he seems to really be picking it up.
Yeah. I think was it LeeAnn? Somebody was chasing him. Was it LeeAnn or somebody was running after him on the field the other day? He just looked like this little miniature, like G.I. Joe. You know what I mean? Running after Barbie, you know what I mean? It was like
David and Goliath.
Right? Yeah. He's gonna be
he's a big guy.
Dude. Yeah. If he can produce like he is big, that's something solid. You know what I mean? Like I don't expect him to be
we'll see. It's interesting because right now you've got Freiermuth that catches really well and Gentry that blocks really well. And we already know that Washington catches better than Gentry does. So he's shown some blocking skills. If he can block better than Gentry, then he has a chance to, unseat the guy. He really does,
Mm-hmm. If it happens though, like if we get rid of Gentry for whatever reason, is Washington going to take over with Freiermuth for grilling and chilling? Because that's the most important.
Certainly hope so.
Because if grilling and chilling goes away, I'm all for like making Zach Gentry a lifer in Pittsburgh because
did you see
that stuff is fantastic.
Did you see the grilling and chilling with Tomlin? That was so funny.
Yes.
So what I loved is
they're just so deadpan.
They are. And they were in those lawn chairs that you got to sink, like you sink all the way in. It's like, how are these people getting out of these chairs? Are they like rolling out, or do they need like their teammates to help them up out of those? Because those are really hard to get out.
Like on the ground and like at his ears. Yeah, exactly. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, hysterical.
I love. Didn't they ask him what's your favorite Tomlinism? I never heard the one. Apparently, he has one that's there's a fine line between squash and grapes and making wine.
Yeah, I think that's what Pat said was his favorite Tomlinism.
That's a good one.
Did you hear though? They asked all the players, like they had them in a row, and they're like, "What's your favorite Tomlinism?" And they were all saying them off. And then they got to Connor Hayward, and he said something dark about like biting somebody's eyes out, or I don't know what he said. It was so weird.
Cut your eyelids off, or if you blink, if you're a blinker.
But he didn't do the whole thing. It was just like cut your eyes out or something.
Oh yeah, no.
Hayward like going super dark on us. You needed to tell us like the rest of that Tomlinism.
Apparently that's
like Jeffrey Dahmer.
There's a fine line between a Tomlinism and serial murder.
Just creepy.
Right. Yeah. It starts off with something like, if you blink, I'll cut your eyelids off.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's all about
like, this can't be right.
Right.
I had to look at it, like this can't be a Tomlinism.
Right.
That was weird.
Right.
That's why Connor Hayward's doing so well. It's like, oh my God, if I don't play well, he's gonna rip my eyes out.
Right.
This guy's nuts.
It's crazy.
Yeah, this guy's nuts. I better play well.
Showing up to camp all sweaty and like, like he hadn't slept the night before because he was having nightmares about having his eyes.
His roommate at camp sleeps with one eye open.
Yeah. I keep hearing about Anthony McFarlane that like they're making special packages and they're actually thinking of using him. That's encouraging, I guess.
Isn't that every year though? I feel like that's every season.
I heard someone call him Mr. August, and that's so mean, but it's so true. He is totally Mr. August.
Oh,
every year we
use a Kendrick Green and then Mr. August.
Yeah. Every year, Anthony McFarlane. Oh my God, he looks so good in camp, and then it just dies. Every year.
But then you go back to like what Allison said before, and like everybody looks a little bit good in camp. Do you know what I mean? It's not the same kind of pressure as the regular season. Do you know what I mean? So I think everybody looks good. So I think that media people want to have something different to say, and so they dust him out and bring him out and parade him around in August to talk about how well he's doing, and this is going to be his year. But fail to mention that everybody looks kind of good.
Yeah. I've heard very little. I don't think I've heard at all that any player looks bad. All I've heard is that they look good. So
Joey Porter Jr. getting burned today or something. That was like the worst thing I've heard. But I mean, you expect him to get burned some. I mean, he's up against professionals.
Yeah.
That's really interesting because his dad's there too. It's a whole different dynamic.
Yeah.
But I mean, but that's the thing. They're testing him. They keep throwing him against the best, and that's like good. That's iron sharpens iron. Let's go.
That's what they got to do.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Yeah. The whole defensive line thing needs to be figured out. You got 3 positions, and you got like 9 guys going for it. Like something got to give there. Somebody got to get cut.
And there's a couple ors. You know what I mean? Like as usual, there's DeMonte Casey or Keanu Neal or whatever. I'm just looking forward to seeing what the administrative clerical error is this year. You know what I mean? Like what's going to happen there? You know what I mean? Remember last year with the
was that about Kenny Pickett?
Yeah, I was like Mason. I think it was Mason Rudolph or something. Right?
Yeah,
like he was. Yeah, yep.
QB1
he was
or
like
something. They had Mason listed like QB1.
Right. And it came out like that. Everybody was releasing it like that, and Tom, and the next day is like, "Yep, that was a clear copy and paste error."
Well, after there were riots, after half of Pittsburgh got torn down. I mean, that's
right.
Burning.
There were mattresses burning and
nuts,
looting all
Philly.
over, like
Philly after a championship.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh, poor Mason. Poor Mason. That's
what I'd say anytime anybody
always a bridesmaid.
Like, oh, that was a clerical error.
Poor administrative assistants, poor secretaries there, not that we can say that.
I know. Way to throw
like, oh man, he threw me under the bus.
Yeah, really. I gotta use that more at work. It's like, that was a I didn't mean to send that email. That was a clerical error. It was me hitting send. That was a clerical error. I still want to see what happens with the inside linebackers. From what I understand, Elandon Roberts is awesome against the run, but what do you do against the pass? And I love when they say that. It's like, well, he's really good against the run. The other team isn't, broadcasting. I mean, they might signal with our personnel or something like that, or like the 49ers as a team might be a run heavy, but they actually can pass too,
Right.
Yeah. That's what I'm concerned about. It seemed like during free agency, we signed a bunch of guys that were really good against the run, or their strengths were versus the run, and they almost sucked against the pass, or, never played much against. I don't know. Yeah. It's like, so I am a concern, definitely. I mean, you need to be able to be balanced on defense just as much as on offense. So, we'll see.
I just realized there's a Tanner Morgan who's the fourth string quarterback, and a Tanner Muse who is the third string inside linebacker.
Linebacker, right? Yeah.
So
two Tanners.
Got a lot. It's a lot of Tanners.
Yeah. We had two Isaiahs at one point, but Loudermilk spelled his with two H's at the end.
Yeah.
So I made a joke like, hey, when they call it Isaiah, are they gonna say, when they're referring to Loudermilk, are they gonna say Isaiah? You know what I mean? And then the other one just Isaiah. You know what I mean? Like, how do they do that?
I just noticed that. I just noticed that there is an extra H at the end of Isaiah and Loudermilk.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
I know.
I mean, you could look at like who names their kid Broderick? I mean, that's not a very common name.
Yeah, it was pretty unusual.
I mean, Keanu Benton, clearly his parents were fans of Keanu Reeves.
Right.
I mean, and Landon's a pretty cool name too.
It is.
Kenny's parents like Kenny Loggins.
Cool. That's right.
Big Kenny Loggins fans.
That's why he's so good at running. He gets footloose.
Yeah, there you go.
I did see there was a Pittsburgh dad thing, and he's at training camp, and he asked Kenny Pickett what was worse, losing games last year or losing the original hot dog shop, and he said that's close.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, no pressure on Joey Porter Jr., but if he doesn't start, that means Patrick Peterson has to be one of the outside cornerbacks, and I don't think we want that. So I think we want Patrick Peterson to be like the slot corner or something like that, or whatever else on the field. But you kind of want Joey Porter out there, right away.
Yeah.
So no pressure, dude, but like the entire defense is on you.
No pressure, dude, but you need to start. You need to be in the number one slot on the depth chart by the time the season comes up. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no pressure. So it's just slowly but surely. What are we, about a month away from the start of the season? So it's gonna be a crazy month. Do either of you do the fantasy football?
Yes. I've been playing for like 21 years. Like when we used to have to write it down and look it up in newspapers. Yeah, it's awesome now compared to
Yeah.
Anyway, so
crazy. It was crazy back then. Yeah. And the poor like commissioner or whatever had to go through each box score of the newspaper to keep track of the score. It was. It was.
I used to get really involved in doing like football pools and stuff at the school where I worked, and we started a fantasy football, and they wanted me to be the commissioner of that. I'm like, zero chance. Way too much work. This is back when it was all on paper like that. No, thank you. No, thank you. Too much work.
Even now, it's a lot of work. I mean, yeah, you don't have to keep track of the score, but you got to put up with somebody's always upset about something. Like,
there's always a prima donna.
Yeah.
Or you could just create a team like half the people do and then don't pay attention to it.
That's so annoying.
It sucks when you're in that league because it's like, oh man, they're starting all these, or they're starting all these guys that are
right. They're not paying attention. They don't start anybody.
Exactly,
they start people on a bye week or people that are hurt. And then it's just, it's just a mess. Yeah. Yeah. I'm very much into fantasy football, even though I'm not any good at it, but still. Yeah. So
I haven't won a league since like Ricky Williams. So I'm with you right there. Yeah. That's how
I don't ever do well.
I've been on the precipice. I've been almost there. Like I've been in the playoffs and things, maybe a couple times, but Ricky Williams. I
struggle a lot to not just choose like all Steelers. You know?
Right.
Like if I have an option between picking like somebody great from the Ravens and like somebody mediocre from the Steelers, like I will struggle because I hate them so much. And then I feel like I have to cheer for them to do well. And if it's against the Steelers, I'm cheering for them, like my Catholic guilt kicks in and I'm lighting candles and like apologizing. I cannot, it's like
doing some witch stuff, you know what I mean? Like lighting.
So I can't, it's hard for me to pick anyone from the AFC North, like ever, do you know what I mean? I just struggle with it.
Seriously.
So I shoot myself in the foot.
If the words "I need Lamar Jackson to do really well in this game" come out of your mouth, you're doing it wrong. Sorry,
something's wrong.
That happens too. That's the thing.
It
has. Yes, it does.
I play with a bunch of guys in Cleveland, and they all know, obviously I've been playing in this league forever. They know I'm a Steelers fan, so of course they take advantage of that. They're like, "Hey, man, I've got Najee Harris. What do you want to give me for him?" You know what I mean? Like, they expect me to draft Kenny Pickett first overall or something. You know what I mean? I'm like, come on, guys.
Right, not stupid.
No.
It is funny. It is funny when it's everybody from a certain area or something like that. Because like if it's all Pittsburgh people, they're taking all the Pittsburgh people way earlier than they're supposed to.
Yeah, I don't gotta worry about that in my league. Just me taking them too early.
They just know the Pittsburgh person's going to get the Pittsburgh people. It's okay,
right?
Hey, they're Cleveland people. They're tortured enough.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Life is hard.
It worked out when Ben Roethlisberger was in his prime. Because I just had him and kept drafting because everybody, like Cleveland Browns fans, they don't want to be caught dead drafting Ben Roethlisberger.
Exactly.
So I got him pretty much every year. And I was like, well, thank you.
Tim Couch. Don't you try to draft Tim Couch.
It happened. It happened. I'm telling
you. You know what? You can have Tim Couch. I'll do you that solid and just let you have Tim Couch or
promise. It's all yours.
Yeah. Oh boy. You have Allison, you have Ben Roethlisberger wine.
I do, yeah. It's from a website called Manos, MANO, Manos. It's etched. I actually have it right here. So it's etched.
It's really cool,
and it's really badass, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty sharp.
You can't attest to the quality of the actual wine because this is
so I'm not saying if you want to drink it, that's fine, but I'm not saying that it's good because I have not opened it. But it's a really cool bottle. Super heavy. It's like really cool. Well done. Yeah.
I wonder if it tastes like grass or sweat or like what
Ben Roethlisberger's tears.
Right.
I have
like those candles that are scented like that. Yeah.
I
love that.
I'm tasting a bit of cleats with a first down marker aftertaste.
And I did that as a Twitter status years ago. Was like, what if your hometown was a candle, what would the scent be? And like the ones that people came back with were hysterical. People were so funny with it. I wish it was easier to find old tweets because that was a good bunch of answers.
old
Pittsburgh would
exes
smell
or
like coal or
Yeah,
something
they
like
talked
that.
about used syringes and depression
Oh,
and you know what I
that's
mean,
even
like
better. Yeah.
raw sewage and and empty promises, like you know what I mean, like people were just hysterical. It was really funny.
oh,
Cleveland
dear.
Brown smells like armpits. You know what I mean?
There you go. Well,
Loss.
I'm from there.
loss. It just smells
Right.
like
Smells like
Let
if
downs.
loss had a scent. This is what
Right.
it would smell like.
That's right. It smells like let down.
smells like the time they're
Right.
like,
It smells like
they're,
that smells like letdown. We are coming up with a lot of one-liners in this episode.
Yeah.
Right?
we're not in preseason mode. We're firing on all cylinders
Right.
here.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah. This is the bye week, baby.
That's right. Ready to go.
All right. Well, we're gonna quit while we're ahead because we're probably gonna screw it up or something. We're gonna Kendrick Green this.
We don't want to. We're gonna Allison this. We don't want to Allison.
Yeah.
This. We better get out before.
Oh,
we
can you hear
Allison
me? Can you hear me? All right, guys. Hey, I'll see you.
this.
Have a good night.
All right.
You too.
See ya.
Bye.